Today, Black Americans have shaped nearly every part of culture in the United States, from music and fashion to art, politics, sports, and social movements. From the sounds of jazz and hip-hop to powerful movements for civil rights and equality, their influence reaches far beyond America and echoes across the world. But the story of Black Americans did not begin with fame or recognition. It began with hardship and forced journeys across the ocean. It began with survival against unimaginable conditions and generations of people determined to claim freedom, dignity, and a future. This is the story of Black Americans, one of resilience, culture, and transformation. Chapter 1: The Beginning. Forced Migration. The story begins in the early 1600s. Millions of Africans were taken from their homes and transported across the Atlantic Ocean. In 1619, a group of Africans arrived in the English colony of Jamestown, Virginia, marking one of the earliest recorded arrivals of enslaved Africans. For centuries, enslaved Africans worked on plantations, farms, and in households, building much of the early economy of the colonies. Yet even under oppression, they preserved pieces of their heritage through music, storytelling, language, and spiritual traditions. Chapter 2: Life under Slavery. Over time, slavery became deeply embedded in the economy of the American South. Millions were forced to labor on plantations. Families were often separated, education was forbidden, and freedom was denied. Yet resistance never disappeared. Some escaped through secret networks like the Underground Railroad, guided by courageous individuals like Harriet Tubman. Others resisted through rebellion and quiet acts of defiance. The struggle for freedom continued to grow. Chapter 3: The End of Slavery. By the mid-1800s, tensions over slavery had divided the nation, eventually erupting into the American Civil War. In 1863, President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, declaring freedom for enslaved people in Confederate territories. Slavery was officially abolished in the United States with the 13th Amendment. But although slavery had ended, the journey was far from over. Chapter 4: The Long Fight for Civil Rights. After slavery, Black Americans faced Jim Crow laws that enforced segregation and discrimination. During the 1950s and 1960s, the civil rights movement gained momentum. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks became powerful voices. Their efforts led to the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, dismantling legal segregation. Chapter 5: Cultural Influence and Global Impact. Beyond politics, Black Americans have had a profound influence on global culture. Music styles like jazz, blues, and hip-hop grew from Black communities. Movements like the Harlem Renaissance transformed American art. In 2008, the United States elected its first Black president, Barack Obama, marking a historic moment in American history. The story of Black Americans is one of strength, creativity, and perseverance, shaping the very identity of the United States. Thank you for joining us on Past and Present Tales. Which historical era we talked about today would you want to live in? Let us know.